We know this is a human rights issue. It's a human rights crisis that's happening right now. So we're going to warm up with a few chants. So when I say when human rights are under attack, what do? Is you say stand up, fight back, all right? When human rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When human rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When human rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
All right, so the next one is when I say, what do we want? We want decarceration. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Decarceration.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Decarceration.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Decarceration.
When do we want it?
Now.
Right, good. And the last one is when I say people's lives are at stake, and you say decarcerate, all right? People's lives are at stake.
Decarcerate.
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 Good. Thank you. Good. All right.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings.
I said peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Unfortunately, we are back out in front of City Hall. I'm Chaplain Dr. Victoria A. Phillips. Everyone calls me
Dr. V.
Dr. V. And I'm here with the sister
Anissa Sabor, Hope Solitary Campaign. We are here today again.
So, Charles Action Coalition and Hope Solitary have been demanding the end to solitary confinement for years in New York City and New York State. And it is time that the mayor step up and uphold the law of the state of New York. It is time that City Council step up. Stop saying the name of Khalif Browder and Laylene and all the others without producing results. There is no reason solitary still continues in New York City.
No reason.
At all. And yet, we're not here today because of solitary. We're here because the 13th New Yorker has died due to the hands of correction officers and the lack of following minimum standards and protocols. In fact, from Jan Ramson of the New York Times, 2 correction officers and a captain failed to act for at least 10 minutes when a mentally ill man slit his throat with a razor at the Rikers Island jail complex last week, with the guards looking on as the man bled. Now, I want to stop right there for a second, because in 2022, in New York City, any constituent behind correctional walls is not guaranteed to be kept alive until their fair day in court. Do you hear me?
Yes.
We cannot guarantee people's life before they even see a judge based on their alleged charges. And then when people come into the system already with mental health concerns, pre-existing conditions, as our mayor likes to throw out each and every time a life is lost. Well, they might have had pre-existing conditions. Well, guess what? Once again, Mayor Adams, you and your commissioner have failed at your job of keeping people safe.
That's right.
The man whose name is Michael Nieves was 40 years old. He was taken to Elmhurst Hospital where he had been deemed brain dead and on life support since Friday, according to one official. He was taken off of life support on Tuesday and pronounced dead at 9:47 p.m. The official said the episode was captured on video. It showed Mr. Nieves bleeding out on his floor of his cell. Mr. Nieves is the third person suspected of dying by suicide, and the 13th person to die this year who was held on Rikers Island.
Now, let me be very clear. I've stated on the record at the Board of Corrections and City Council that this year alone, I have asked DOC to call back the Suicide Prevention Task Force. They have not met at all in 2022. And after asking DOC that, about a month and a half later, Mr. Carter died. Now we're at 3 suicides in 2022, and the Suicide Task Force has yet to be called back to discuss how to save a life behind correctional walls. And I want you to quote me on this one right here. You know, the commissioner was very concerned when he heard that Dr. V often goes after commissioners. And we had a conversation. And Commissioner, I want you to understand that today is that day. I promised you I would never go after you without letting you know. And today I'm letting you know I'm directly coming after you. And you know why I'm coming after the commissioner now? Because for far too long, this is the 9th month that he's had this job. This is the 9th month that we've given him opportunity to change the culture. And although I cannot hold this man accountable for 100% of the officers coming back to work, what I can hold him accountable in the 9th month then is the culture having not changed. And so what we do realize by this video that just was released is that they laughed at Laylene on video. They laughed at Khalif Browder on video. They are reported to have allowed a man to die in 2022 while choking on an orange. And now we know not one officer, but 2, and a captain observed this individual bleed out for at least 10 minutes before acting as a human being should. Commissioner Molina, that is your fault because you are the former federal monitor. And 9 months in, you have yet to shift the culture at Rikers Island. And for that, I blame you for this death. For that, I hold you 100% accountable for this death. Because you have not shifted the culture. And that's the one thing that we all should hold you accountable for. Because by now, your officers should know, if my peer isn't showing up, if I show up to work, I have to show up to work and do 100%. I have to show up to work and step with humanity. I have to show up to work and know that it is inhumane on domestic soil to allow any American citizen to bleed out. Now, that's just my personal opinion. But what I want y'all all to know is that we have a responsibility to hold those in power to make change accountable. And I've been saying that over and over and over again. So the first person I want to actually bring up, and I'm not disrespecting any loved ones, I'm doing this based on time constraints. The first person I want to bring up who has actually kept her word. When she was running for office, I was a little shaky on her. A little shaky about if she would keep her word. I'm crying, my eyes are burning, sorry. But Councilmember Tiffany Kaman,